This episode is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make your podcast. They've got great creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, like I'm doing. And they help you distribute your podcast so it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Good luck. Hey friends, welcome to the Wellness and Lifestyle Show with Cheyenne. That's me. I wanted to let you know this episode was originally recorded via live video on Facebook Live, which explains why you may hear some references to the video and to some visual content as well. I know you're going to enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wellness and Lifestyle Show with Cheyenne Dominguez. And I am super excited to introduce my special guest today, Ryan Gonzalez. Welcome, Ryan. Ryan is President and CEO of the Touchstone Collective and a friend of mine, and we worked together many years ago. So welcome, Ryan. It's great to have you.
Hi, Cheyenne. It feels so good to bring the dynamic duo back together.
I know. It does feel good. It's great to have you. It's great to have you. So we've had a few technical difficulties getting started today. So Ryan she's being super flexible and joining us from her phone because some other things didn't work out. But so we're using plan B here, but thankfully it all came together. So it's good to have you. Yeah. All right. So you are President and CEO of the Touchstone Collective. You're a business consultant. You're a wife. You're a mom of 3. And so this show is all about really just engaging with women out there and encouraging women to not put their own wellness and self-care last on the list, to prioritize our own self-care once and for all. And so we hope if you're watching that you'll be inspired to take better care of yourself or continue taking great care of yourself if you're already doing so. And so that's what our show is about today. And we bring on different women with different perspectives on this topic. And so, Ryan, with that, let's start with the elephant in the room, COVID-19. Let's talk about COVID-19. So maybe just kind of share with us, with the audience, how has it affected maybe your business life, your, as a consultant, and then your family life at home?
Oh my gosh, COVID-19, so many words for COVID-19. It's turned my world upside down, around, and back again. The good, the bad, the ugly. I think a little bit of everything has come out of this. Obviously as a consultant in my industry, nonprofits are suffering. For-profits are scaling back on, putting together their CSR, their corporate social responsibility planning for how they give their money away. So as the main connector of those two things, definitely it was a very fast and quick turnaround. And I think in life, being a planner, that kind of shift is kind of a big deal. And so I went essentially from having a packed schedule to a very clear schedule, and jumping right into my mom of 3 kids hat had to come on, and teacher hat had to come on, and lesson planning, and what do we do next, going through your mind every day. So definitely a complete shift in thinking.
Mm-hmm. And so are you working from home now?
Yes. So we have five folks working here. We got me and my husband and our 3 little ones. We have an 8, a 5, and a 2-year-old. So as you can imagine, they're all in different cycles right now. So it's like managing a group of very different team members.
I can relate. I can relate to that. Okay, so let's talk about how you're taking care of yourself, because I know you've got some big goals around wellness and self-care, and I love following your journey, and it's an inspiration. So maybe share with everyone listening, how you have been using this time to take care of yourself.
Yeah, the first week when all this started to go down, you don't know what to do, right? It's like you feel real lost, and you either have to decide at some point, are you going to sit down and shut up, or are you going to get up and you're going to do something about it?
Mhm.
And you can choose one or the other, but what are the ways that are really going to help you to get through this, right? Because
Mhm.
everybody's different, and everybody works in different ways, and manages their mind in different ways. And just doing some self reflection, I wanted to kind of start this inspirational journey for myself, right? Because I can only control myself in this situation. I can't control what's happening and what's around us. So I started to think about the things that make me most happy. And one of those things is running. And so we got together, a group of friends of mine from all over the country, and we said, "Hey, we're all training for marathons. We're all, working on a running game, and some of us are very new to running." And we said, "Let's just support each other and use running as a way to really clear our minds." So we have a Miles for the Mind group that we do, and for the month of May, we're really trying to hit some goals. 100 miles is one of those. So it's been nice to really kind of release ourselves in that way. On the business side of things, I think it's also important. There's not as much work that's there, but there is this opportunity, right, to still connect. And as an extrovert, how can you really connect with those around you when you're stuck at home? And so I do what I call these mental health checks with clients, and I just check in and practice empathy, because I think we all need that right now. Is whether you're just calling and saying, "Hey, how you doing? How you hanging in there? How are some ways I can help you? I saw this online. Maybe this is something that would help you." So I think people appreciate that because not everybody has people to talk to, and I think in this time we all need to reach out to each other.
So I
So
love,
those are some things.
I had loved that you shared that with me, that you are using this time for your business to do mental health check-ins with your clients. So I'm so glad you touched on that, because like you said, what a great opportunity to connect with, with someone in your professional realm, right?
Yeah.
In a new way. So I love that you're doing that. Awesome. Great job. So how have those calls been going?
Oh, they've been great. And I think that, I think sometimes when hard situations happen, we tend to retreat and we tend to hide, and we're dealing with our own thing. But I think the more you can reach out to others and the others feel that sense of care, it's like a reciprocal effect. They're going to
Mhm.
reach out to other people, and it's just going to keep going. And
Mhm.
so, you know, you may not be able to get out there, but there's this whole beautiful thing called social media where there's so many opportunities, for you to just reconnect with people that maybe you haven't talked to in a while, help make connections for people in a different way other than, going out there and being together all the time. So, taking a breath and sitting back, meditating. I mean, these things are things we think about all the time, and now we have the time to do it.
Mhm.
So it's important.
So true. So I'm going to
Yeah.
pause for a second and just share some comments. So Michelle says, "Love my girl. Ryan is amazing." And Esther says, "Go Ryan." And April says, "This is great inspiration." So thank you all for commenting. If you have any questions for Ryan, you can pop them in the comments if you're watching live, and I'm happy to read them out and ask Ryan on your behalf. If you're watching the replay, just do hashtag replay so that I know to circle back to your comments or questions later. So, okay, so Rye, one of the things you shared with me, or one of the things I also know about you, is you are a planner. You
Yes.
love to plan ahead. And so, you know, how, what would you say to women who really can identify with that they would consider themselves planners, and because they can't plan ahead, you know, we really can't plan. We're planning kind of day by day. It's not even like week by week at this point. So for others who are listening and saying, I'm definitely a planner and this is kind of causing me some anxiety, I know you can relate to that. So, maybe what would you share? How are you dealing with that aspect of this?
Yeah, I think that you can't, when you have that in you, right? You're a planner, that doesn't really go away. Like it's always there. But
Mhm.
I think the thing you have to think is, how do you do things, or how do you work around that? So you're just planning in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you using your time so that you're creating opportunities for yourself to plan differently? So in my case, being a mom of 3 kids, every night I take 5 minutes and I sit down and I say, what's one thing I can do for my kids tomorrow? What's a goal that I can set for them for tomorrow? What's a goal I can set for myself? Or something that I want to accomplish, or what's a goal for my house, or what's a goal for my relationship, with my husband, and set small goals, and things that you can look forward to every single day. I think, you can still have aspects of your life you can plan for, and use the time to maybe educate yourself more, read some things that you want to, you've been wanting to learn, so that when you do get back to work, you're a better employee, you're a better boss, for the people that you work with every day. So I think it doesn't go away, just use it in a different way.
Right. I like that. It's kind of like you're channeling it to to try to work for you rather than against you. So I love that. So Sandy Sierra, that is my cousin-in-law. She says exactly, we all want to feel we have a purpose, especially during times like this when so much is out of control. I can definitely feel that for sure. I want to feel like I have some kind of purpose rather than, just letting each day kind of rule me. I'm trying to, have some kind of, focus each day and not let my wanting to plan. I'm not such a planner. I like to plan, but I can go with the flow, but it is nice to feel like I have some kind of control. Otherwise, it just feels like the whole situation is controlling me.
Yeah, and that's definitely not what you want to happen. And, if you ever feel like you are getting to that place, call somebody. Sometimes it's best to call a stranger. You think it's the people closest to you, but sometimes it's best to call somebody you haven't talked to in a while. And, you tend to share more in that way. And we can all serve as each other's life coaches in a sense. So call that friend that's good in business and say, hey, what can I do in this time, in this downtime, to maybe expand my business, or think about some new things I can do, or call a friend who also has multiple children, if you have multiple children, and what are you doing that works for your kids? And so, I think one of my strategies for my kids, I am not a teacher. I never think I can do that, quite honestly. We struggle enough with
me too. I'm trying my best, but I should, I'm definitely not ever going to be paid to do that.
But I did grow up with the school of the hard knocks, and I can't help teach life skills. And so we're working on life skills. We're working on our PE coaching. I can do that. So we're working what we can and with what we have. So I think that's the advice I'd give everybody: work with what you got and make it great.
Yeah, I love that. So, I have this virtual walking group on Facebook that I use. So walking every day, taking a walk every day is like one of my non-negotiables, which I started at the end of last year, but even now it's becoming more important than ever. And so one of the things we say, some people walk a long time in the group. Some people walk short distances. Sometimes it's just 15 or 20 minutes to clear the mind. But we say, kind of one of our sayings is, walk when you can, where you can, and how you can, as much as you can. So you kind of, like you said, you're just, work with what you have.
Yeah. No, and I think the journey that you take with everyone who follows you that's exactly what everybody should be doing right now, is really, connecting with themselves in this time and thinking of ways where you can be your best you. And so I love that you're doing this and you're having this show, because people need to hear more of these messages in their life, so they don't feel like they're alone. I think as moms, we're really hard on ourselves sometimes, and we are doing a really great job, and we are still in control in a lot of ways, and we need to give ourselves more pats on the back for that, because we can all do it. We can get through this.
Yeah, I'm patting myself. All right, so David asks, what else do you do for me time besides your running? So do you have anything else?
Yeah, I do a lot of reading. I love to read, and I'm reading different kinds of books. So I'm trying to educate myself as much as possible in this time. I think I'm also, doing things for my kids. Like I'm thinking of different activities. Like we're building a solar system. We raised some caterpillars. We're planting, things in the backyard that I never thought we would do. So, I think every day, if you think of something creative you can do to expand your mind, I think that's important. I think if you have the Breathe app, if you have a watch where you can breathe, I think we tend to ignore that, but maybe set that at different times of the day where you know that are your most stressful times of the day. So you take a moment where you actually breathe with your watch. That for me has been great. So those are just a few
Good.
things that I do on a daily basis.
That kind of is a lead in really to my next question. Thank you, David, by the way.
Yeah.
So my next question is really, what tips do you have or recommendations do you have? So you've been doing these mental health check-ins with your clients. I know you're doing your Miles for the Mind group, your Facebook group, where you're, have goals together for other people who are running. So in all of this, I'm sure you're, getting a lot of feedback and information. So what tips would you have? What other tips for women, really, or recommendations for women, especially women? Not that guys aren't listening. We love having you here. But moms especially, we have a tendency to put ourselves last on the list. Myself included, the household, the business, the kids, everything.
Yeah.
And then, what I used to do is kind of, okay, if I can work out, I can work out, but if I can't, that's okay too. And I've really tried to change that mentality. So that's kind of number one for me, is just changing that mentality for myself. But what have you been seeing that's working for other women to really, help them take better care of themselves, or, continue to take good care of themselves if they already are?
Yeah, I think you definitely need to set mental and physical goals for yourselves. So on the physical side, whether it's you're running a certain amount of miles every month, or you're following your journey and walking and taking those pictures, or maybe it's a different journey. Maybe it's getting back to something. I know you had Alex on the show last week and she talked about her dancing. Find that physical outlet for yourself and set a goal every month, even if it's a small one, and it gives you something to work towards. And so I think that would be one thing I would recommend to people. On the side of your mind, think of the things that make you the most happy. If for us, meditating as a couple works great. At the end of the day, we both have different stresses, and so when we have that moment to sit down and do that, that's great. We also practice prayer at our house, and so we have a prayer request bowl. So every night we put in there things that we think we're feeling, and we put it out to our faith. And so I think for that's something that we love to do at home. For our kids, we're teaching them responsibility. We do chore sticks at home. So every week they pick a stick and they are learning how to do new things like wash dishes and take out the trash, those kind of things. We're learning to count money, which is important, right? Like how many kids don't know how to count money? So, I think there's a lot of things you can do. And for me, it's just important to look at my whole self. And I think that's what you should do. Sit down, write tips for yourself, and accomplish little things every day.
And Jose says, we're listening. So I think the kids, your husband's kids are listening to you right now. And the kids are probably saying, hey, we didn't know that everyone in the world was going to know about our chore sticks.
Yeah. Some days I'm called Mean Mommy over here.
I've called that many days. I do my best. All right. So Michelle is asking, how do you find time, couple time, since we can't have date nights right now? So my husband and I had a date night last weekend where we did like a virtual wine tasting with a wine that was created by John Bon Jovi's son. And so it was really interesting because in the Zoom, John Bon Jovi and his son were both on the Zoom, the conference call. It was really interesting. So we thought that was a great date night. I never thought I would be saying that, I was doing that kind of thing. So what are you and Jose doing to get some couple time together since you can't go out to a restaurant right now?
Yeah, so we're taking it old school. We're going back to our time pre-kids and thinking about the things that we did together that were great. One of those things is listening to, I don't know if anybody's heard of DJ Nice. And so what he does is he does live streaming of different club mixes and music from when we used to go out to the club. And so we put that on, we blast it in our homes, and it's great. We dance the night away, we drink wine. It's a fun night for us. Another thing that we do often is that we have a movie screen we put outside. And so we literally play it. We sit in our patio and we listen to the breeze and we play a movie. And so we love doing that. And getting back to board games, we're playing things we haven't played, like Clue. So we're doing a lot of really fun things. Pinterest is really your best friend in this time. I've been on Pinterest more than I think I've ever been.
Oh, that's a great place to get ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's make some boards if you can't do them right away, and save them. And when you need an idea, you got your inspiration right there.
I love that. Okay. So, Esther says, great survival skills for the kiddos. Way to go, Mom. And April says, virtual wine tasting sounds awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so before we wrap up, so any final thoughts before I ask you to share how others can follow you along your journey, either through the Touchstone Collective or even if we have runners who are listening or someone who wants to start running and maybe be part of your Miles for the Mind running group?
Yeah. I mean, I think final thoughts are, if you want to be a runner, you can. Don't tell yourself you can't. There's going to be times where you feel like I can't go any further. And my friend Rob said this, you're your own governor of your own mind, right? Like, so running is a lot like life. You're going to hit points, and I think walking is like this too. You're going to hit points where you feel like you can't go anymore. And your mind can do so many things. You just don't realize it. The potential is there. So I would want to leave everybody with that. And then two, this is a small blip in time. We're going to go back in a couple of years and remember this. But when you think of your whole life, this is a small time. So use the time the best way you can. And, reach out to people who can help.
Absolutely. Okay. And so how can people get in touch with you or follow your journey or be a part of your running group?
Sure. So the Touchstone Collective is my company. We do business consulting for nonprofits and for for-profit companies. And we love connecting people. You can find us www.thetouchstonecollective.co. That's CO. Or you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn. Hashtag T Collective if you want to find us that way. So feel free to find us on social or search us on website and drop us a line. Awesome. And then Miles for the Mind, if you are interested, you can just search it and request an invitation, and we'd love to have you as part of the group. It's called Miles for the Mind Posse. So
okay, and that's a Facebook group, right? That's a Facebook group?
Yes, it's a Facebook group, and
great.
So you can search via Facebook.
Awesome. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being with us. And I would like to extend a special thanks to Jose and the kids for letting us borrow you for this time, because I know even taking you away for a half an hour, I'm sure has some kind of disruption at home. So I don't doubt it. So thank you for sharing your wife and your mom with us. And right, it's so great to see you. And hopefully we'll get to see each other in person. Get the families together eventually.
I still use Cheyenne's phrase all the time. You're my right hand and part of my left. I remember you used to say that all the time. So Cheyenne is awesome, and I feel so honored to be a part of this with you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Well, keep running, keep taking good care of yourself, and hopefully I'll see you on the other side of this.
You too. Take care of yourself too. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.